Hello and welcome to CIPD Bitesize. In this particular video, we're going to be looking at Unit 5 HR03, which is a reward module, AC3.2, which is evaluate the most appropriate ways which benchmarking data can help be gathered and measured to develop insight. Now, as always, the first thing that we do with a CIPD Bitesize video is we break the question down into its component parts. And here we've got evaluate the most appropriate ways in which benchmarking data can be gathered and measured to develop insight. So it's a chunky question. There's no secret S's, which is always a perk. So there's no hidden S's or sneaky S's, as I refer to them. It's just a really clean question for you to go, okay, well, evaluate the most appropriate. Most appropriate is subjective. You can't say something is the most appropriate or the least appropriate when it comes to benchmarking data or gathered. So there are a whole range of opinions. So that's why I've sort of put that in purple. But let's go into the question a little bit more. So evaluate the verb to judge or calculate the quality, importance, amount, or value of something. So this becomes really important with our study tip, which is, have you proven your point? Because when you evaluate something, you're evaluating it to the point of proof. So to judge, calculate, how you calculate, and if you've not proven it, the importance, the amount of, or the value of something. Evidence, research, data. This is a big sort of data piece. So ways to collect benchmarking data. One is our action point one. Why is this important and what is the value? So ways to collect benchmarking data. We can see by this research here, this is the best way to collect. This is one of the ways that you can collect benchmarking data. This is really important to the value of benchmarking data, as can be found by this research here, which says blah, 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 and blah, 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 which can be proven by blah, 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 blah data. Ways to collect benchmarking data two. And why is it important to the value? Again, it's just doing the same process, but on a different way. So you might go with surveys and then you might go with focus groups. Why is it important? What is the value? How does it measured and how does it give you insight? So again, why is it important and what is the value? What is the value is measured to develop insight. How is it? What is the value of what you're doing with it? How are you going to use it? How is it measured? What are you doing with that information? Now, as always with CIPD units, the way you lay out your work is you go here and you write AC3.2. That's how CIPD want you to lay out your work, so that they know what question you're answering with what you write below. And then every action point should be a subheading with a distinct summary underneath. So it might be subheading is ways to collect benchmarking data, which is annual staff survey. This is really important for this, and this can be gathered by blah, 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 sending a series of emails out, blah, 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 blah. And it's measured by developing grading structure on a 1 to 5 for all these different things. And this can be found by best complete survey research that says blah, 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 blah. Action subheading 2 is staff focus groups. This is really important. Blah, 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 blah. Now, as always, instead of just me saying blah, 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 blah at you, I'm going to point you to some resources. And the resources we've got here is CIPD fact sheet, which is the job evaluation and market pricing. That's a really good one. The CIPD Good Work Index. Now, if you're watching this in 2024, obviously 2023 Good Work Index is a really good one to use. If you're watching this in 2025, you need to find the Good Work Index 2024. If you're currently with HRC Online, we will have updated this already, so you'll be noticing going, that says 2023, mine says 2024. We're going to try and keep you as up to date with the latest research as we possibly can. So when we look at CIPD pay performance and transparency, they've already published 2024. If you're watching this in 2025, you may be reading 2025. We try to keep you with the most up-to-date research that CIPD have as possible to make sure that you're able to get through the qualification as well as possible. But if you're job evaluation and market pricing is benchmarking data. Your job evaluation, the Good Work Index is benchmarking data, and they will tell you how they gathered it, what's appropriate. You can think about that. You can critically evaluate some of the processes that they've done. Why have they done it that way? How has it come to that? What is their response rate? Could we improve the response rate? Has their response rate been better than your organization response rate on the last staff survey that you did? These are the types of things that you can do when you're benchmarking data to develop insight. And gathered and measured to develop insights, or i.e. in terms of recommendations to improve organization. Now, AC3.2, you have 390 words to answer this question. This is because 5HR03 is a grand total of 3,900 words, and you have 10 ACs to answer, so it's 390 words per AC, which, if we go back here, is 100 words per action point to ensure that you answer the question fully, effectively, and in all its component parts. So, one of the things that we do to try and help you understand this is we give you a bit of an analogy, a bit of a hypothetical situation to sort of help you understand how this comes together, and just to sort of give you a bit of a flavor of how we would approach the question if we were answering it ourselves. So in this scenario, you're a chef not having a good day, by the look of it, but you're a chef and you're looking to improve your restaurant's dish. You got some great ideas on how to do it, but you decide to do benchmarking against other restaurants. And here's how you might measure and gather data to gain a valuable insight. You might look at published recipes. You can find cookbooks, online resources with recipes of other chefs. This is readily available information. You might not be considered specific ingredients or techniques used by your competitors, but it gives you an indication about what other people are doing. You might survey your fellow chefs. You might talk to your other chefs directly, ask for recipes and cooking times, and provide a more targeted information that might be limited to who you know and the willingness to share. Obviously, because as we know in the food industry, it's not the most transparent. They don't want to give away their secret ingredient. You might go start dining at competitors' restaurants, so you analyze the dish itself, its presentation, its overall dining experience. It might give you a well-rounded picture, but it requires time and money, and you might not uncover the exact recipe. You might join a chefs association, participating in a group where chefs share their best practices, allow you to learn from a wider range of experience and other good balances and detail and accessibility, but it might require membership fees or specific industry connections, which is a bit like Best Company Survey, for example. The most appropriate ways to gather data depends on your specific goals and resources. Just like a chef, you need to consider the trade-off and ease of access, relevance, and depth of information to gain a more insightful comparison and improvement. These are not always easy to answer questions. These are not really always easy ways to get results. But if you're evaluating the most appropriate method, the most appropriate is the most cost effective for your situation. You can't collect every chef in the world and go, tell me how you make this, tell me how you make it, because that's not practical. But you can gather a statistical majority and have an understanding baseline and grow from there. Absolutely best of luck with this unit, and we'll catch you on the next one.